The Life Chronicles Publishing Company and the Turning Page Bookstore and Goose Creek are teaming up to hold a summer book festival next Saturday to promote local authors. Today, I talk one-on-one with Valinda Miller of the Turning Page Bookstore for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Valinda Miller, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you so much for having me back again.
Oh, you're very welcome. Obviously, you are the founder and the CEO of the Turning Page, obviously a bookstore in Goose Creek and now Somerville, which is the only African-American bookstore in South Carolina. Tell me, what's new, what's now at the bookstore?
Well, what's new is we had to leave Somerville because the owner decided to sell the house we were in, which is understandable. It's that time of the year and everybody wants to sell. So we are still in Goose Creek, which is up the road from where we were at, which I think is a better space, better environment. We're next to a lot more areas where the kids can reach us.
Yes.
A lot more easily. So that's the newest thing, but that's not going to stop us from opening up the other 4 stores. It's just going to take us a little bit longer.
And how long will it take you to open up these other 4 stores?
I'm hoping in a year or 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what are the actual locations, I should ask?
Well, we're waiting to hear from Florence.
Yes.
And Orangeburg.
Oh, wow.
And there's Lexington.
Yes.
And there's another area we haven't visited, but we've been asked if we would investigate, and we will.
Yes. And why Lexington, Florence, and Orangeburg?
Well, because I have been running a report and doing some, I guess you call the research on the different areas in the state of South Carolina. I know I'm not from here. I'm from D.C. In D.C., Maryland, Virginia, New York, and so many other places, they don't have what you call a bookstore depth. There's not enough bookstores around. And you know what? There's not enough libraries around either. So I want to sort of combine bookstores and libraries because not everybody can afford to pay $25 for a book. But $5, $10, $15, $20, and if they can't afford to buy it, maybe the library has it that they can borrow from. There's just not enough educational literacy books to go around. And right now the fight is even more because everybody wants to get rid of, well, we don't want this book because it's banned and this book has this and this book have that. And I don't even think they read the book to understand. Do you know what you're talking about? Have you read the book? What is in it that's so bad? So we need to increase the literacy in the whole state of South Carolina, the whole state. We need to really start educating our children and adults more. And our elderly. We need to help them understand the forms, the changes in, what they have to do, Medicare, veterans, how to use TikTok.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
How to use Facebook, how to reach out to family and other areas. And yeah, that's what we're working for. Me and my manager, we are trying our best to get a book and an apple or a banana.
Oh, yes.
Every kid's hand in the state of South Carolina. We're not giving up that fight.
And where are the literacy problems right now in Florence, Orangeburg, and obviously other locations?
It's not enough bookstores. There's not enough libraries. The kids don't have that much access. And, with the teachers returning back to school,
sure,
even the schools don't have enough books.
Huh.
The teachers are still buying supplies.
Wow.
And even though we have all kinds of organizations that help them get the supplies they need,
sure,
it's just not enough. They need our help too. Every person who teaches need our help every single day. Not just the parents of these kids, but anybody who's even within walking distance of schools. They always need help. They always need books and supplies.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this, Ms. Valinda. I don't know if this is an answer that you might know, but what has been the literacy rate over the time for these teens and even young adults?
According to the reading groups throughout the state and throughout the United States, the literacy problem in the United States is kids who are going into the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, reading level is still at the 1st and the 2nd grade. They're not teaching them enough about math and about finance. They're not teaching them enough about how to write a sentence with a verb and a noun.
Right.
They're not teaching cursive writing like they used to.
Yes.
And I understand technology. You can go on your phone and buy and read anything and everything you want. But eventually, when those kids grow up and go into the corporate world,
yes,
the people in that corporate world is going to go, how come you don't know how to write a sentence, a complete sentence and a complete thought? How come you don't know how to talk to the buyer or the president or whoever the other person is? We need to help them so they can understand when they get into that corporate world. And some of these kids are stuck with student loans.
Oh, yes.
Or they're stuck with a job that's only paying a minimum wage. And we need to figure out a way to get these people in the White House and all these federal and state governments. Yeah, I can get on TikTok all day long, but if you're not helping these kids learn how to read and helping these teenagers learn how to read, that's why there's been such a huge influx in the last 3 or 4 years of books that cater to teenagers and youth, because those books speaks to them and tell them, it's like they living their life through the books.
Yeah.
And there's so many books, and not just by white kids. I mean, every nationality of teenagers has got a book out there. Personally, I love it. I love the colors. I love what they talk about. I love how they tell the kid that you can be everything, but let's start with the basics. Let's get your reading down, your math down. Let's get that down. No, I don't want you to be reading Shakespeare. Shakespeare's great. Shakespeare's beautiful. But, let's move into some other teen authors. Because those teen authors are just as, excited for the adults as they are for the kids.
Yes, indeed.
They are.
And what are those local teen authors that speak to the teens today?
Well, of course, the girl that wrote, I forgot her name. What is her name, Aaron? Oh, my God. The Hate You Give. I'm trying to think of somebody local. I don't know if I have anybody local. I'm trying to think. Ooh. Let me think of some. I'm trying to think of, what is her name? You know how your mind goes blank?
Oh, no worries. Yeah. And I know there's a lot of local authors in town, because obviously you're coming out next week with the Summer Book Festival. Tell me why the Summer Book Festival, that is. Why now?
Sharon Blake approached me and my manager and said, this is her company, Life Chronicles Publishing.
Yes.
And she is trying to help local authors and authors all over the United States. Sure. I don't think it's just limited here, to get their books out. So she decided to have a book festival, but trying to find a space has been a little sort of expensive and sort of hard. So I think she approached my manager first, and my manager told me about it, and I said, oh yeah. I think her first one was last year.
Wow.
She had about 6 authors. One of them is local to South Carolina. And the turnout was unbelievable. 2 of them were local. She tells me 2 of them were local.
Wow.
And I looked at her and I said, well, if you're going to do this in the summer, let's try to do this 3 times a year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the next one that she's having with us is the 20th. Two of them are local. What is her name that writes the romance books? We have a teen that has a book out because her mother was so generous and made us chocolate cakes. I love chocolate cake.
I do. I know you do.
And she's given an opportunity, and she's advertising all the time to say, hey, are you a local author? Are you an author who has a published book? Join the summer book festivals. And I told her, we usually have it, our first time was last year, and we're going to, last year we had it last year, summer.
Wow.
Early spring. It was an early spring.
Wow.
And we're having it again in August.
Yes.
And so beginning in January, she's going to try to have it twice a year.
Wow.
To give an opportunity for a lot more local authors. Now, it's getting a little big, so thank God for Trident Technical College.
Yes.
The team there. When we had our book signing with Bakari Sellers, somebody told me to go to them, and I did. And I'm telling you, their prices are so reasonable. Natalie, who works with us, she is a gem. We now have a running, contract with them.
Sure.
We can call them up and email them, and we can get so much a larger room. So next year we're having 4 book festivals, and one of them is hers.
Wow. And how long did it take you to actually plan for this particular festival?
Sharon does a lot of the planning.
Oh.
I just provide the space.
Sure.
She does the advertisement, and so do I. I post it on all 4 platforms of social media. She does it. She's really good at that.
Yes. And how many volunteers do you expect to have at this particular event?
3. Okay. Me, my manager, and another young lady.
Wow. And how many people do you actually expect to attend this festival, Valinda?
I think this time she's going to have over 50.
Good.
Last time it was the first time. People weren't aware of it. We did post it out there and announced it, but people weren't aware of it. But in the last couple of months, we have recommended people who have a book or who want to get their book produced to her. And now she's being overwhelmed.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. She's getting a lot more authors.
Well, that's
and that is going to be exciting for her.
Yes, indeed.
And that's just she's doing a great job.
And let me ask you this, Ms. Valinda, as I see the Southwest plane coming over my head.
That's okay.
Who is this book festival actually for?
The one that's coming up on the 20th is for local authors, as well as any author who is still trying to get their books published. She wants to help not only local, but anybody else.
And what is
get the exposure.
Oh, yes. They definitely need the exposure. Yes, indeed.
They need the exposure because everybody seems to think, they still do, well, my book is on Amazon, but they got to find you on Amazon.
Right.
And the only way to find you on Amazon is you literally have to advertise and promote your book almost 24/7 because you are out there with over millions and millions of other authors who are also doing the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And what exactly will be the themes for this particular book festival?
Are you new? Do you have a book? Do you want to sell your book? What is your book about? It's about, let's get you the exposure you need. Let's tell people who you are and what your book is about. And does your book help? Is your book related to Christian help? How to make something? How to improve yourself? Or just a good old-fashioned story that you can sit down and relax and read?
Absolutely.
And romance. We have one young lady that comes. She has some great romance books. And she's local.
That's good. Always love local. And I know you love the kids a lot, Miss Valinda. What literature events will be there for the kids who attend this festival?
We have 2 of the authors reading to them their books. They're going to have little games for them, and kids can come there and hang out in the kids' corner of the bookstore, and they're going to read to them and I guess animate the books that they're going to be selling. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah, we're ready for kids too.
Oh yeah,
and teenagers.
teenagers, exactly right. And how many panels and panelists will it be for this particular book festival?
We're not going to have as many panels. I think only two.
Okay.
The ones who's going to be doing the kids,
Oh yeah.
and the one that's going to be doing the romance. She's going to talk about her experience writing romance.
Okay. Wow.
And we're going to have another young lady that's going to be talking about her experience through trauma.
Mm.
So everybody has some kind of experience they can tell us.
Oh, absolutely.
And tell our customers about.
That's exactly right. Yes, indeed. And this is another question for you, Miss Blender. I don't know if this is even possible, but are you planning to incorporate a book launch at this festival?
We hope so.
Oh,
For three of the authors, we hope so.
okay.
Yeah, there's going to be three.
Wow.
They're on Life Chronicles Instagram page. You can reach out to them on Instagram. There's going to be three. One of them is a young man, and I'm going to let people, go to the Instagram and check them out. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's still summer, and it's going to continue to at least early October here. Well, what are those summer books that are popular right now?
Ooh. Now, see, you would ask me that question. Oh my God. Love Radio by Ebony Ladea, Delle. Oh my God, come on now. While Justice Sleeps by Stacey Abrams. We cannot keep that book in the store.
Wow.
We just can't. We can never keep that. Every time we get an order in, it's gone.
Wow.
We got an order in of 8 books, and within 3 days they were gone. But it does help that my manager pushes that book she just won't stop pushing that book. Well, one of my favorites, I have so many. The Lions of Fifth Avenue, because I love New York, and
Yes.
I love the New York Public Library.
Yes.
And this is a little bit a woman's history about that. Another good book is As Cooked on TikTok, because I know everybody's watching some of the chefs and the cooks on TikTok, and I'm telling you, I've made 2 of their dishes, and I said, I got to get the book and sell that.
Yes.
So I got a couple of copies and one for myself to see how it is. Oh, it's amazing. And those dishes are so easy and very, very healthy.
Wow.
Very healthy.
Boy.
I still love Hair Love by what is his name? The cartoon of the guy trying to do his daughter's hair.
Right. Oh yes. Yes.
Matthew Cherry.
Right.
I still love that book.
Oh yeah, he's a big guy.
And you just can't that's so cute. A book that came out recently, Black Boy, celebrating remarkable moments in Black history. Oh, I just love that book. And of course, I still love Charlotte's Web.
Yes.
I still read that to the kids.
Yes.
Any book about Mrs. Spider, because I used to read Mrs. Spider to my daughter.
Wow.
She loved that book. And I still love The Book Thief, Holocaust. It's for teens. I'm sure they would enjoy that. Clint Smith, How the World Passed By.
Right.
He's going to be at the National Book Festival in Washington, D.C. in September.
Yes.
And I will be volunteering there. Any books about books.
Yes.
And booksellers.
Right.
Any and all books. And I just love the children's books. There's a Brazilian book out. Oh my God! Some of the Brazilian and Hispanic writers of kids' books. They are the most colorful, exciting books. And you can get a baby to look at that book, and I think you got a baby hooked for life on reading.
Yes.
They just, I get excited when I talk about kids' books and teens' books. They're so colorful, and they just talk so real to these kids.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong. Absolutely.
I can go on forever on every book that I love, and I've read to my kid, and I read to the kids, and always pushing the kids to read books. Oh yeah.
Yes, that's amazing. And Matthew Cherry is a very phenomenal guy. He's done a lot of great things in Hollywood and beyond. So it's just amazing to hear about him. Yeah.
His is another book we can't keep on the shelf.
Oh, okay.
Killer.
Huh.
I don't care what nationality you are. That book speaks to every father in America. Yeah, how do I do this hair? I don't care who you are. You know, he made it real for every father. Yes, I don't know how to do this, child. And it does feel like an octopus and the brush coming alive.
Right.
Yeah, that's how come that book is so great. Fathers can go, I don't know how to do my child's hair.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a good one.
Yes, and you don't have to go to YouTube to find out.
Yes. We still have a lot of we had a lot of books, of course, that came out during the Black Lives Matter 2020. And we still have a few more books coming out concerning that and history of African American history, African American as well as Native American, Hispanic history. We still get a lot of those requests, and we still try to order a lot of those because I don't care what you try to do, you are not going to erase what happened. You should learn from it and figure out a way to accept it and move forward, but you have to learn from it. So that's not going to go away. I think it's just made it more open. I think people have realized that, no, you're not going to hide this. You cannot continue to hide this. You're not going to tell me you can't sell that book because it has this word in it. No, how do you ban the book called that Gregory Peck played in, right. And how do you ban a book that was made in the 60s, and it was talking about the black guy who was Brock Peters was the guy who was being charged, and Gregory Peck was his lawyer. Now I can't remember the name of the book right now. How do you ban a book that was telling the truth at the time it happened? What are you thinking? Oh, now I can't remember the name of the book. See, I read so many books, I can't keep up with them.
I know. I know.
You know.
And you hope to keep telling the truth about this particular history 5-10 years from now with your books and your bookstore.
Do I plan on what?
Yeah, how do you hope to keep telling the truth with this history with your particular bookstore 5-10 years from now?
With my mouth, I'm not shutting up.
Oh.
That's it. I'm not shutting up for nobody. No. I'm like my grandmother. Well, not like my grandmother because she grew up in a time where, she wasn't allowed to go into a library because she was black. And she was born and raised in Athens, Georgia. And she was not allowed to go into the library. So when I came along, she said, we're going to the library. So I think she went up to the 4th or the 5th grade, her education. So she's the one that told me that I don't care what they try to do. I want you to read everything and as much as you can to learn the history of everything as much as you can. Because, see, you don't want to repeat the past. You want to learn from the past and move forward. You don't want to sit there and try to cover up and say it's a lie. Because eventually a lie, it'll get blown up. Yes. A lot of them stay a lie forever. It will eventually get blown up. So I am going to continue to run my mouth and promote books, and not just, so when people go, well, what about the white history? Oh, I include the white history as well.
Sure.
You cannot exclude anybody's history. That's just the issue. You cannot exclude anybody's history. You're supposed to go back there and learn what happened and figure out how to ensure that it doesn't happen again. You need to ensure that the Holocaust and slavery never, ever happens again. So when you come up and say, well, I don't know if that exists. And I would tell them, I didn't know you were there to prove that it didn't exist. So you need to find out who was there and who wrote about it. And they'll tell you what happened in their experience.
Right.
Like the teen books that are coming out now, the reason they are coming out so much is nobody talked to them. Nobody told them There was no book with a cover on there of a person who looked like them. So now we got books out there with on the covers where they can see themselves and talk about themselves. If they can't talk about to their parents or to a teacher, they can talk to another friend.
Right.
They can talk to a mentor. So covering it up doesn't help. It's like the Pandora's box. It will eventually explode. And then what you're going to do then? You're going to have to pick up all the millions of pieces to clean it up. So you might as well face it and take, go back there and read the book, and don't guess and don't believe everything you read on the internet. For God's sakes, don't do that. Good God. Oh yeah, the internet said that the Holocaust didn't exist. They made it up. Oh, they made it up? Have you ever been into the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C.? And people say no. I said, well, I have. You walk in there, and about the first 15 or 20 minutes, you go, I need to go and sit down and take a break. Have you been into the African American Museum in Washington, D.C.? Have you recently been to the Emmett Till display? No. Well, then how would you know? If you haven't even seen the display or read the books on it or did the research on it, how do you know it's a lie? Figure it out. Go read the book. That's what I tell people. Go read the book.
Read the book. Yes, ma'am.
Read the book.
Yes, indeed.
And it doesn't have to be one book. 4 or 5 different people have different books.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, Valinda Miller with Turning Page Bookstore, thank you for your time. And again, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Quintin, thank you once again and again. Boy, you've always been a good advertisement for us.
You're welcome. Happy to support you all.
Thank you so much. And you have a very blessed weekend. And thank you for those scripture quotes. Believe me, people need them right now.
Yes, indeed. I agree.